welcome to the 2023 Canadian National Championships, elevated by ThoughtSpace Athletics and brought to you by Parked Pro. First off, we want to thank our patrons of Parked Pro and PDGA Canada. We wouldn't be here without you.
And thank you to our title sponsor, ThoughtSpace Athletics, and iTech, CDGT Tourism, and the ODSA.
So here we are, round two at Birch Point Park, located in Thunder Bay. We've got our lead card, front nine.
Coming off a round at Dragon Hills, so we got a new course for you for this round.
So here we have Raven Klein from Burnsville, Minnesota, coming at you here with an overall of 90 on her scorecard.
Coming in hot, tied for first. And tied with Raven, we have Irina Shakhova, and she is from Rossport, Ontario, so she is our kind of local on this card and in this event. Pulling out the guns, looking fresh. She's got all the moves. Look at her in that banana hat. I love that.
Great style. And surprise, here we have Colleen McInnes from Burlington, Ontario, sitting at +6, ready to rock for round two. Look at that pose.
All right, and finalizing our lead card, this is Karen Martel from Victoriaville, Quebec. Looking fresh. Look at those muscles. If you go check Karen out on Instagram, you'll see all her workout videos and stuff. She is jacked.
You will be inspired.
Yeah, absolutely.
So starting off our first round, here we have hole 1, par 3, 325 feet. Most players are looking to throw like a big hyzer, skipping off left to the basket, trying to get that birdie.
Yeah, have you ever hit that hydro pole in the middle? Yes. I did that during my practice round. It's like, there's like 3 trees that are in your way, and it's, then you hit the hydro pole. Oh, look at that, Irina signing some signatures and Karen. And is that Brooklyn Okrafta?
Yeah, Brooklyn Okrafta just recently signed with Latitude 64 junior team, so yeah. Congrats, Brooklyn, shout out.
Huge up and coming from Ontario. Keep an eye out for her. She's moving on up. She's going to be crushing us in FPO soon enough.
Oh, yeah.
Great first drive there from Raven. She missed all the trees. That's the main goal. She'll have a look for her putt, but a little bit outside circle.
We have Irina flexing one out to the right, getting some great distance. Ends up just behind a tree, but about pin high.
Oh, and I did a costume change.
How many wardrobe changes do you have this round, Colleen?
Just the 2. There might be another surprise. And I think I've never hit that tree in my practice shots, so that was a new one. Yay.
Love when that happens.
Just finding more of the course. That looks beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you niced it.
That was exactly the pull I was talking about too. I feel you. Feel Karen on that one.
Yeah, can relate. And rough first throws, getting those first throw jitters off, and we got a big crowd following this card here. They're in for some exciting golf, no doubt.
Very cool to have just a crowd following. So awesome.
Yeah, it's so great to see all the support, especially in Thunder Bay. They've got a great disc golf community.
They really do. Like I was saying in the first round, if you haven't watched that, go back and check out the first round. And all the spotters we had at Dragon Hills, like the flagging that was done, the signage, amazing stuff. Yeah. The community has really come together, and shout out to the ODSA for running that.
Ooh, nice little pitch up from behind the tree from Irina there. She'll have a look from inside the circle.
Ooh, I like the straddle jump. That was nice. A little fancy.
Beautiful controlled kind of jump cut from Raven there.
Good cleanup for par from Karen. And looks like we'll have a few more tap-ins. Some good chances on the first hole, but like we always want to get those jitters out of the way. We don't want to do anything too stressful right away. Yeah,
it's always nice to kind of just stay out of trouble the first hole. Like you said, get the nerves out of the way, and just starting off with a par, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, maybe in the last round we'll be more ambitious on the first hole. So good pars there all around. Cleaning up really nice. And we're moving on to hole 2. Let's see this playback from Raven's drive. What a bomb.
Look at that form.
Beauty. All right, so we have hole 2 here, par 4. We do have this little creek-ish thing in front and a path that we want to get over that path to be in bounds. And then as we're going down this fairway, lots of trees to hit, so you want to choose the left gap or the right gap. And then landing somewhere in this fairway that we're flying over. Your second shot is a bit trickier because you have so many options and so few good ones. So where those people are walking, a lot of people like to throw a hyzer and skip in, or go right down the middle and just try to hope and pray you miss those trees. Now, there is a secret line that a lot of people don't take, which is to forehand over the road. So as you can see on the tee pad here, it is an option. We're gonna see if anyone here chooses that. I do think it's more popular with MPOs though. They're a little crazier.
I'm not sure if we'll see a whole lot of that here. Everyone's just kind of playing, strategic, conservative, and smart. I
did see a guy do it and hit that diamond sign.
Yeah, exactly. You can run into dangers like that.
I feel like guys don't understand the phrase risk and reward. They get it, but they just ignore the risk and think the reward is worth it.
Yeah, us FPOs, we like to go for the smart, conservative play, not trying to do a whole lot and just, keep it in the fairway.
But that
especially
reward,
on holes like, par 4s, you want to just get into a good landing spot for your next shot to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, like if it's really worth it, for sure we'll be risky, but at what cost?
Right?
So a few hitting some branches if you get knocked down. Karen's was really nice there, getting a little bit farther. And like we said, the second shot's really key here. It's tricky because you just need to pick your line and really commit to that.
Here we have Colleen going for that hyzer shot over the path. Does she make it back in? Awesome. Yes, she does. Right in the circle. Circle's edge.
A little scary. Whenever OB comes into play, we always get a little too nervous. Nice forehand. Love to see it. We don't get a lot of those.
Hopefully it sticks to landing. Very nice.
That
Maybe
looks
we'll have a
textbook.
Putt from, yeah, exactly. And she'll have a putt from in the circle as well.
Great shot there from Karen.
A lot of great upshots, giving all these players birdie opportunities. Colleen just hitting the cage, but really good bid.
Gotta get those lower legs working it.
It's the first real putts of the game, right? So.
Oh, and we hate to see it twice in a row. There we go. Raven making that hole look so easy. Like that just seems so effortless. Just throw a hyzer, throw a forehand, tap it in.
Yeah, textbook play from Raven. Karen also getting the birdie. Well played.
And now it must have been a little chilly in the morning because I had that jersey on and Irina's wearing pants. So it's tricky with FPO. We often have that early morning dew. We get the little chills.
Yeah, you gotta be prepared for all sorts of weather. Come dressed in layers. You never know what kind of weather you're gonna get.
Is Karen eating while she's throwing? That's amazing.
Multitasking.
Beauty.
All right, here we have hole 3. It's par 3, 397 feet. Now we're going back the opposite direction where we just crossed over this little valley. It's quite a big crush, pretty much just a straight shot. Forehands, backhands, you name it, whatever you pick your poison. And most players will just be playing for the 3 here, just trying to get as much distance as possible and hopefully just laying up for their par. Maybe we'll see some long looks for birdie, but this is considered pretty far hole, especially with the low ceiling and trees. So we'll see how this group does.
Quite a gap to hit right away.
Yeah, it's quite intimidating because those trees are right in front of you. The gap is quite large, but I don't know what it is about having trees right in front of you. It just gets in your head.
Oh yeah. So Raven flirted with that path there that is counts as OB. It's really the biggest risk on this hole. But I find that birch tree that's right straight to the right, that's also one of the biggest deterrents on this hole. You either want to go down the middle and turn after, like flex after it, or purposefully go to the right side of it and go around it right away. Mm-hmm. It definitely slows down a lot of my drives on this hole. Mm-hmm. Definitely makes me question what disc.
And here we have Irina. It looks like she just flexes out in front of it, so avoids all that. So great shot, gets a fairway right down the hole there.
I think you're right. It's just too long for us to count this as, a optional birdie. It really feels like par is your only choice.
Yeah.
You obviously don't want a bogey, but
no. But I think a lot of folks are playing this for par. I know this group has, quite a bit of distance in their arsenal, but with the way that the hole is set up with the gap and the low ceiling, it's pretty tough to get that full distance, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with the par here. And Karen got quite down the fairway. She's just doing a little hyzer upshot.
That's smart. There's a lot of branches around on those trees that within the circle you're gonna have sometimes your putt affected. And it's better to, if you're that far away, it's better to just be close to the basket than it is to try and run it more. Mm-hmm. So I like that play. I like what Raven and Karen did.
Yeah, and it looks like Raven and Irina kind of went a little bit of the aggressive route.
I think Irina was lucky there, getting caught.
Yeah. Sometimes the trees give it, sometimes they take it away. So lucky there, the disc stopped right close to the basket. So Irina will tap in her par.
The courtesy wait. You don't want to be moving. You don't want to screw someone up.
Just act like a tree.
And some cleanups there. So we got Raven with a bogey and some pars. It's a party. Hopefully we're going to see some star pars or maybe some star birdie frames this round.
Ooh, that was a phantom branch. I don't know if Irina saw that.
It was turning towards the basket. Like, that could have gone in if it didn't hit that.
Yeah,
or
just like
it could have gone
lower.
Way past. Who knows?
So here's our recap here. So right now we have Raven and Irina sitting tied for first at +5. Overall shooting even in the round. Karen not too far behind, tied for third. It looks like Alicia is having a great start to her round. She's shooting 1 down through 5. So
yeah, having a hot round. So hopefully we'll see her moving up in that leaderboard in the next update. All right, so hole 4, par 3. 453 feet. This is a bit of a blind shot because you cannot see the basket at all. You do want to kind of peek out, get past those first trees on the left. Probably land around where that little tree is we just passed. It's quite a distance, so you're just looking for your max drive to make your upshot as easy as possible. There is a path behind that you can see there that is OB. So the landing, you really just want to make sure you don't overshoot your second shot. And then those trees in the way, they can really be guardians there.
Oh goodness, yeah. They're great guardian trees for the basket. It can be so tough to get around them, especially if you don't land in, your ideal landing spot off the tee. So here we have Karen going early left, but she's still out in the open, so she'll have a pretty open look at the upshot here.
Looks pretty similar to Karen. Just a little bit further, nice distance. Just cutting off as much as they can.
Oh, Colleen, what's that disc that you're throwing here? It looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, she dizer. Definitely a turn, my go-to for distance.
Oh, yeah. And distance you do get right there. What a crush.
I think I've sadly lost that one. I've thrown it in the pond at Centennial, so if anyone finds it, I would love it back.
Centennial claims so many discs every year. We love to hate it, but
Yeah.
it's a great course.
We do appreciate the people that go swimming for them, though.
Yes.
And that was a great bomb, too. Nice distance from Raven there. So these upshots were really, I like Karen's play of forehanding. When, you swing it out a bit more to the left than she did, you can really sweep in. But like we said, those trees really get in your way. They mess with where you're aiming and get worried about being stuck behind one. Textbook. That was beautiful.
Yeah, great shot from Raven. I think she had a great advantage being a little bit more on the left on her tee shot, so she had kind of a more simple forehand hyzer approach shot.
Yeah.
That really helps because I'm convinced that these trees have some sort of force field where it just attracts the discs right into them. But Colleen, you fight your way through it.
Power through.
Yeah, parked for your par. Great bid from Karen. Just a little left.
Yeah, and this is another one of those holes where it's like, honestly, I'm feeling like a par is more like a birdie on this hole. Just with the distance being 450.
It's a pretty demanding hole. So yeah, I agree. Par definitely feels like a birdie here.
I gotta give a big shout out to all those TDs who have been doing different layouts for FPOs. Like maybe we play the same tee pad. Maybe we just have different pars, and that way we're not propagated against the MPOs. Because, when guys are throwing 400, 420 feet, it's hard for us to want to play propagated with them when we can't birdie the same holes. So I definitely appreciate TDs changing that up a lot recently, taking kind of a page out of the Pro Tour book and being more responsive to FPOs.
Yeah, it's always appreciated when the feedback is heard and our voices are valued. So hopefully we can see some changes in the future. But for now, this is a challenging par 3, very rewarding.
Yes.
When you get that par, it's a great feeling. So now we have hole 5, which is a par 4, 464 feet. We've got the path on the left here, which is OB, and it kind of snakes around the fairway. So you'll kind of want to land right around these trees here on the right side of the screen, and then you'll have an upshot to this island green, which is completely surrounded by this path here. Is quite a difficult shot. Yes. So we'll get to the hole.
Brand new too. Mm-hmm. So this hasn't been a hole in the past if you've played these courses before. So tough for everyone because it's new for everyone. We like that fairness.
Yeah.
The Innova Alien, our newest multi-purpose disc. It's like nothing you've seen before. With a pretty beefy mid-range bottom, but a very familiar sonic top, it creates physics-defying stability. From intermediate to pro-level power, backhands to forehands, the Alien. Flying to a dealer near you.
All right, so starting us off here is Colleen. That looks like a great flip-up shot. Landing in a great spot, it looks like.
Yeah, I like the left side. I typically land short of the trees there, and I like being on the left side of those trees a bit more because I prefer a turnover shot. There's not much of a hyzer there, and I'm not a forehander, so
there's kind of looks like two good landing zones here, kind of right where Raven's disc was looking like it was about to flex, kind of in between those trees that are straight ahead. That's a great spot, or landing left where you did, then you can have like a more straight or a turnover shot.
And Raven and Irina both hitting that tree in the middle of the fairway. But Irina got a really nice bounce forward, and you could see my disc there. She hit that tree and still almost made it as far as I did.
It's going
so
places.
You can see the raw power she's got.
Oh yeah.
And you can see Brooklyn there with us. I believe she was caddying for Karen that round. So very cool to have some up and coming females cheering us on.
Yeah. Soon she'll be joining cards like these,
us.
and she'll be having her own caddies as well.
That one would have been way too much.
So on this upshot, you can notice it's going a little bit uphill, and then as it gets towards the basket, it starts going a little bit more downhill. And like where Karen is there with that patent pending, so hard to get it to go nose up and not air out left. That was a really tough stance.
Yeah, not to mention, like, the next shot after the drive is usually a blind shot, so that also adds the difficulty going, doing the up and down and not knowing where the basket is can really make for a tough upshot, so...
Yeah, and I believe we might have walked up for that because when we did our practice rounds, they didn't even have this basket in position. We weren't sure about the OB. It was just so new that we went to go double check what we were doing.
I mean, not a bad idea. Karen likes it. What a great shot from Karen's lie there, just landing right in the island.
And if you ever get in that position too, I highly recommend you go and look at the basket. It is part of the rules that you should have a perspective of where the basket is before you throw. So provided that you're not taking an exorbitant amount of time, you do have that right to be able to identify where the basket is. So never be afraid to stand up for yourself and request that.
Yeah. It's always a good option, and it ends up saving time in the end, if you know where you're throwing and you don't have to look for discs for
Absolutely. Too long. And big thanks again to the spotters out there. Wonderful to have someone reassuring you that you are good.
Yeah. A very, very, good vibes and good enthusiasm coming from the spotters out of this event. Thanks again to everyone who came out and supported.
Oh, a good run there and stop by the signs. Again, thanks to the ODSA people for putting all those signs up to stop our rollaways.
Woo! Nice putt, elevated putt there from Colleen.
It looks a little wobbly, but it counted.
It doesn't matter how it gets there, as long as it gets in the basket.
Yeah, definitely an unexpected birdie. This hole is particularly tricky.
Irina hits some chains, but unfortunately goes past, but now she makes good for her double bogey here. Not the result you want, but this hole can do that. It can get away from you pretty easily, so.
So we've got Karen putting in her par there. That was a great save because she did have her second shot that kind of went into the ground a bit. So what a nice recovery for a very particular hole. And a great par from Raven. Again, if she's not right there, she's at least getting those pars. She's very textbook playing right now.
Yeah, Raven's got her scramble game going. It's looking great. And let's have another look at Colleen's line drive. Beautiful.
I look so confused after.
You never know what your disc is going to do, but you do it sometimes.
Oh, you can see my relief on my face there. Okay, so ignore that basket on the right. We are going down this green on the left. The path to the right is OB. The path to the left is OB. It's very much a turnover or forehand. A lot of forehanders actually do go to the turnover on this shot because it does shape better for that. But it is 377, so really pushing our distance. And we're getting down to a OB wrapping around behind as well. So a little tricky. Definitely want to be cautious about where you place your shot and maybe not be too ambitious.
Yeah, the key here is, of course, land safe in the fairway. This hole tends to always have some type of wind on it, which makes it even more challenging because it's such a narrow landing zone. So it can really kind of play tricks with your mind here. So
yeah, that's my big mistake. I kind of, because I know it needs to turn, I kind of crank on it. So Raven got lucky, the trees smack her back in.
Okay. Yeah. Lost some steam, but...
All right, we've got a forehand incoming from Karen Martel. It looks like it's hyzering towards the OB. Let's see. Oh, unfortunately, the trees don't
They used
keep
up
her
all their
but...
good luck with Raven. They left no good hits back for Karen. And we'll see Irina do another backhand.
Looks like she's going with her Castoplas Falk.
Yeah, Casta Plus.
I heard they make great discs.
I heard they sponsor great players, especially in Ontario. They're branching out.
Shout out to Casta Plus. And great job from Irina. Right in the middle of the fairway. She got a nice straightforward upshot. Karen here weighing her options for her upshot. She's got some trees to throw around here.
Feels a bit punishing, you know? You're OB and then you're behind a tree, like, really tough. But she makes the most of it. Look at that.
Really
Wow.
great turnover shot in the circle.
The distance was great. Great landing.
Control.
Good angle, yeah.
And Colleen with the jump putt, landing her in
I
the
think that
circle
was
as
a
well.
pretend to try, where I pretended to try to get it in, but I wasn't really, my heart wasn't in it.
Well, it looked intentional and wonderful to me, so.
That's the goal. We're just here for the looks. Gotta look like we know what we're doing.
Fake it till you make it. Just kidding. You've made it, Colleen.
Oh, you too. Nationally known. We're so famous. Not like that Raven, though. Man, I love watching her. Now that I've played with her, like watching her on pro coverage now is so much more exciting because she is just such a good person. Like, she is just so much fun to be around.
She's a joy to play with. Just always a great attitude. She crushes. So that's just, you know, when you could be such a great player and just a good human, it's just hard not to root for someone like that. So it's great to see Raven with all her successes.
I think, too, very genuine. Like, it's so easy to be like, yeah, nice shot, or you're doing great. But, like, she's so genuine in the way she supports women. And I think we need more of that.
Oh, no.
Oh.
That looked like that was a sure thing. But the basket had other plans. And as Karen said, rude.
That was harsh. I want to say, we always say prodigy, but that's an Innova basket. How dare you, Innova?
Supposed to be kinder.
You could see how scared I was because Karen spit out. I was like, okay, it stayed.
It can be tough to follow putts like that. You know, you might not be thinking about it when you're putting, but then you see something like some unfortunate, you know, turn of events, and it just gets in your head. Disc golf is very much about the mental game.
Yeah.
You know, what are some strategies, Colleen, that you have for keeping your mind positive and like try not to let other people's throw outcomes get to you?
That's so hard, and I think a key component of that is just remembering to kind of let each hole go. Like, literally forget what you did on that hole as soon as you put your score in. It's gone. It doesn't matter. You can't do anything about it, so don't worry about it.
And, you know, your mental game is amazing, and as we can see here, it's paying off for you. You are now at the top shooting, or tied for first place shooting, one down. Along with Alicia, she's still shooting hot.
Yeah.
You made holes.
That is awesome. We love to see that. Love to see you come back from not being on the lead card to like, ooh, I'm peeking up at you guys now.
That's right. Yeah, lighting a fire under other players ahead of you. And here we are here at hole 7, which is a par 3, 348 feet. We've got water to your left, OB path to your right. Again, another narrow landing zone and some trees to contend with. And the hole slopes from right to left just ever so slightly, enough to kind of make you think about your shot. It's definitely not just a straightforward hyzer shot. You have to be very precise and accurate, and kind of have to play with OB a little bit, kind of throw something a little bit more stable so you can really trust it to come back left.
Yeah, definitely. It's always scary when you throw immediately over OB.
Yeah, you have to really be sure of yourself and the disc that you throw. What are you throwing there to ensure that you come back left?
That was my Grace. Admittedly, at the time, I didn't know the numbers on a Grace, and I thought that was more overstable. And then people informed me that a Grace is actually not very overstable. So I think it's a first run, and maybe it's just that one.
Well, it worked out great for you, and also for Raven, flirting with that OB. She gets a little scoot over, back in bounds. And Irina also getting quite down there, a little close to the water, but she's still safe and in the short grass. Ooh.
Well, that was quite a skip. I would call that like a skidder.
Yeah.
It, like skittered up there. Kind of wobbled its way over with the skip.
And gets you that little extra distance and going forward as opposed to, you know, traditional skips where you go left or right. That just added some extra distance, and who's gonna be mad about that?
Yeah. Did you play the doubles round at this course?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, my doubles partner was Karen.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we had a
that's
great
right. Okay, so on this drive, because it was doubles, I threw my drive and almost hit someone on the tee pad for like 3 holes from now, because it's over that path like that we're going over.
Yeah.
And my disc just annied. It like never hyzered, and I was like, why is it doing this? Like now I know that disc has different numbers.
Right.
But at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, it's quite a busy park. Lots of, you know, pedestrians walking up and down the paths. It's obviously a very beautiful area. And, you know, a lot of the tee pads are close together, so there's always a danger there. But, you know, we're pros. We know what we're doing. Sometimes
Always.
sometimes the wind has other plans for you, but
Yeah. Always just making sure we're being aware of other people.
yes. Make sure the coast is clear before you throw. And yell 4.
Yeah.
So we've got our group here tapping out their pars.
Oh, Bilbo Bag-ons.
There we go.
Gotta take that bag off.
That's how you know it was a great upshot. Well, here we have our first star par of the round. Colleen looking back at the camera, making sure they got the shot.
Probably laughing about how I said I would never do that again because I missed a putt like that once, and then here I am doing it again. So hole 8, very similar kind of stock hyzer, 272, so you don't want to go too far. But the risk here is that slope with the water on the left. It kind of, I mean, it does matter if you go in the water because you get an OB stroke, but if you get into those trees, it kind of almost feels like going OB anyways because you're totally just giving up the birdie opportunity there. So the path as well on the left is OB. Very tricky to land this somewhere where it's not going to skip away on you.
And the distance, I find that the hole plays a little longer than 272, as Colleen here just parked from right in the circle. Plays it so well, like your disc landed very nice and flat with the grass there, so it didn't get a lot of ground action, which is great.
Yeah, and like how Raven's doing here, you can see how far wide we're going.
Yeah.
Just to be able to get, you know, not a million feet down there.
Yeah, I find the strategy here is kind of throwing towards the out of bounds path and hyzering back just where the basket is. And
that basket on the right, that's exactly what we're aiming. Well,
yeah.
That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, it looks like that was Karen's plan there too, as we have all our drives so far in circle 1, so well played, everybody.
I think Karen threw, that looks like that Owl Pathfinder, which is interesting because I threw my Thunderbird hoping for a bit of skip because I wanted to swing it right. So I got a little bit more skip than her. Whereas, like, she's looking to control her skip. So it's funny because players have different kind of strategies, even though, you know, you're throwing the same line.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how different players tackle different holes. It's one of the best parts of this game.
So despite that wall, that is still in bounds. You have to actually go in the water. But that was very nice to stop Raven's disc there.
Good bid from Irina. Just
tickle the chains a little.
Ooh, we got a death putt coming up from Colleen. Are you running it?
Oh, totally. I'm crazy enough to. An airball!
Well, you went over the boards, but it looks like it's a little bit more of an open putt there.
We don't love that, but we love that it didn't go OB.
Yes.
And if you've ever birdogeyed, you feel my pain right now. Great putt. Nice par. Raven's been doing lots of those straddle putts today. Very confident with those.
Yeah, they're looking great. Very consistent.
Good cleanup.
Yep.
And there we go.
And Karen playing it smart, just laying up, just to have her tap in par. Does not want to mess with the death putt on this hole, so
And shout out to Alicia Hums for the only birdie on this hole. We had lots of opportunities there on this card alone, so you can imagine 3 FPO cards and 1 birdie. So
Yeah. That
you
really
could
goes
say
to show you.
she's good at stress putting, I'm assuming. Or she massively parked it. Let us know in the comments below, Alicia, if you're watching. We want to know. Look at that focus. We're all so intent on those discs.
So here we have hole 9. It's a par 4, 486 feet. So first shot, you kind of want to throw something straight and land past these 2 trees in the middle here, because the fairway starts around this area, starts bending and turning right, and the basket is up on a mound with OB behind it to the right mostly. Very tough par 4, kind of playing with a low ceiling here, and I believe right off the tee you have the area to the right. I believe it's an OB kind of marsh area, so it's a really demanding tee shot because you really have a specific zone you want to land in to have a better upshot. So let's see how it works out for this group here.
Now, I did hear about some MPOs going completely over that, which is insane. But looking at it now, I'm like, it's not a bad idea to go to the right and just hyzer around all that stuff. The basket does kind of end up on the right more, so.
If you have the distance, that's definitely a great play. Very risky, because you can easily get caught up in some trees, but...
And where are you trying to land on this? Like by those 2 trees, or are you looking like a bit more left, like where Karen's going?
So distance-wise, I think ideally you want to get it past those 2 trees and land on the left, because if you land on the right side, you're just going to be a little too pinched off for the upshot. You just want to be able to throw like a stock backhand shot.
Yeah.
Colleen's disc flips up a little bit. And...
Don't want to go in there, apparently. So I think it's a certain point that the OB starts on this.
Yes.
Because it's like right away, that stuff, I think I was too far out to be OB.
I think there's some water in there, so I think if once you're in the water, you're out of bounds, but just being in the, the bush there, she's safe. And it's a great out, just middle of the fairway.
Getting some progress, not trying to be too crazy. And a good upshot there from Karen. So she'll have a run at the putt, but that is a death putt. There is a hill behind and a path there. So if you try to run that too hard, you could end up going OB. But she'll still have a great look. Do one of those lofty little putts.
Raven with the great forehand upshot.
Pulling out all the tricks for this course.
Looks like landing in circle 2. And looks like she'll be putting away from the OB, so it seems quite ideal.
What a tough stance. Man, mad respect to Irina for not bashing her hand off that tree.
Yeah, great control there.
And just such an
touch.
awkward spot to have your disc. You wouldn't expect it to land in front of a tree like that.
Yeah. Like you'd hope with the, being so close to the tree, you'd get a little extra skip. But unlucky landing spot, but Irina makes good with a really nice upshot. And speaking of nice upshots, Colleen.
I think I was a little worried about that because you can't see where it landed, so I thought, oh no, did that go on the path?
Yeah, sometimes you don't know the result of your shot until you walk up, so you're just hoping for the best, but as we can see there, Colleen's got nothing to worry about.
It's all working out.
My mistake. It does look like Raven's got a death putt, but that doesn't scare Raven at all.
What a birdie.
Cans a huge putt.
So Raven Klein and big birdie on this hole for her. We got Irina here with the opportunity, but she'll settle for a par.
Irina's been all over the basket today.
It's been just slightly off.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird.
Could be a combination of things, right? You got the nerves of being on film. You've got, it's a big tournament. There could also be wind. It's hard to tell. In this footage, it doesn't look a whole lot windy, but I remember this day it there was enough
Yeah.
of a breeze to kind of make you think, but
Yeah, throw you off a little. I do find that my clothes matter a lot, so I need to wear something that I feel 100% comfortable in, or I will be like slightly off. And so that's why I end up wearing a lot of like looser fitting clothes, because I just don't want to be restricted and like feel claustrophobic. All right, finishing at our front 9 on round 2 of the 2023 Canadian National Championship. We are at Birch Point, and we have Raven Klein in the lead. Colleen, me up next, 2 strokes back, and Irina 3 strokes back from that. And then Karen rounding off our lead card, just 1 stroke behind Irina. So widening the gap a little bit, but still there is a whole 3rd round and the back 9 here. So hopefully we will catch you guys there.
all right. So thank you so much for watching. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/parkedpro. Join our community today and help support this amazing channel. And as always, like and subscribe and keep watching this space for some more great content.